I think humanoid robots will become the most significant product in history, with demand that seems almost limitless. It's a bold idea, but really, who wouldn't want a personal robot like a real-life C-3PO or R2-D2? You've even mentioned that you want to produce 1 million of these robots by 2030, and that's a massive goal. It's a reasonable target, you said, and it's part of a bigger vision of sustainable abundance. But what about the training for these robots? How long will it actually take for them to learn all the different tasks they'll need to do? That's a pretty big challenge. You've admitted that it's going to take a lot of computing resources and time. There are certain breakthroughs you're hoping to achieve, like having Optimus watch videos online, just like a person would watch YouTube or a how to clip, and learn how to do things from that alone. If that works, it would open up a world of possibilities for task flexibility and learning speed. Right now, though, that's not the reality. The training still relies on human demonstrations, with people wearing mocap suits to show Optimus how to perform basic tasks. You shared how you showed several of the Optimus robots to visiting dignitaries recently, including His Highness and President Trump. They seemed really impressed, especially when one of the robots danced along to YMCA. It's fun, sure, but you believe we're heading towards a world that's going to look very different. You see a future where humanoid robots aren't just a novelty, they're everywhere, doing jobs that people used to do, or jobs we couldn't imagine them doing. You said you believe there will be tens of billions of them, each one acting as a personal helper, an assistant, or even just a friend. And it's not just about novelty or convenience. There's a huge economic aspect to this. Productivity, you've pointed out, is essentially output per person, multiplied by the number of people. Once humanoid robots become widespread, that math changes. Suddenly you have a whole new class of workers that aren't bound by the same limits as humans. The potential for economic output is almost unlimited. You said it's going to be a future of universal high income, not just universal basic income. Because when you have robots that can do anything, there's no limit to what people can have: goods, services, experiences. It's not a dream or a fantasy, it's a future that's starting to take shape right now. You've also pointed to science fiction that inspires you, like the culture novels by Ian Banks. Those stories show an optimistic, non-dystopian vision of what AI and robotics could look like, where abundance doesn't mean waste or destruction, and everyone has what they need. Of course, you're not naive about the risks. You know there's a possibility of things going wrong, like in those old sci-fi movies with killer robots taking over. But you're aiming for the Star Trek version of the future, not the Terminator version. So let's talk about what's happening with Optimus right now. You see future cars as basically robots on 4 wheels, and that's really where you're headed with Tesla's self-driving technology. It's the same philosophy: make them smarter, make them more autonomous, and eventually they'll be able to take over entire jobs. You even announced that Starlink has been approved for maritime and aviation use, which connects back to the bigger idea of seamless technology and global internet access for all these machines. But let's be honest, this isn't just about creating cool gadgets. It's about control, labor, and power. You've built a robot that doesn't just mimic humans, it's designed to slot into the world we already built for ourselves. We made everything for human labor: doors, vehicles, tools, buildings. If you want to replace a worker without redesigning the entire environment, you make a machine that looks and moves like a human. That's what you're doing with Optimus. You're creating a labor unit that fits into the world seamlessly, without anyone needing to change the world around it. And that's the point that should make people pause. It's not just about making work easier or more efficient. It's about redefining who gets to do the work of the world. You've said you're aiming for 5,000 robots this year, and maybe 50,000 next year. That's not a slow rollout, it's an industrial-scale operation, in homes, in factories, in cities. This isn't theoretical anymore. It's happening. The question that lingers in the background is what this means for us. When machines start to do everything, where do we fit in? You paint an optimistic picture of robots doing the hard, dangerous jobs, freeing people to be more creative and fulfilled. But there's also the risk of leaving people behind, of replacing jobs without replacing the income or the purpose those jobs gave them. That's why this conversation is so important. It's not about whether these robots can do it, It's about how we make sure it actually creates a better world for everyone. The progress is undeniable. The Optimus robot has come a long way. You've shared that the next version, Generation 3, will have hands with 22 degrees of freedom, almost as sophisticated as a human hand. It can do things like play the piano, which requires real fine motor control. That kind of ability means it can handle tasks that we never thought a robot could do, from assembling delicate components to serving drinks with precision. What's even more impressive is how quickly you're bringing the cost down. You said Optimus could cost as little as $10,000 to produce, with the selling price of around $20,000. That's affordable for many businesses, and it means these robots could spread fast. You're already planning to have them working inside Tesla's factories this year, which is a perfect testing ground to prove they can handle real-world work. The robot's future goes even further. You've hinted at giving them customizable voices and faces, letting people choose what their robot looks and sounds like. That's a level of personalization that's never been possible with machines before. Imagine a robot that remembers your habits, knows your preferences, and adjusts itself to fit into your life. The way you're talking about production is also next level. You're not treating these robots like boutique prototypes, you're treating them like a product that needs to scale, and fast. You're using the same casting processes you developed for Tesla's Cybertruck and applying them to robots. The goal is to make each robot as efficiently as possible, driving costs down so that one day, everyone could afford one. You've also said something that really sticks with me, that the real test of any company isn't just making money, it's making things that people love and that improve their lives. You believe that if a company keeps doing that, it's worth investing in. If not, it's not. It's such a simple idea, but it's at the heart of everything you're doing. It's why you're confident about the future, not just for Tesla, but for the entire economy that these robots are going to reshape. In the end, this isn't just about replacing labor. It's about abundance, giving everyone access to the things they want and need without destroying the planet to get there. It's about making sure that as we build these incredible machines, we're also building a future where everyone has a place. That's the big idea, and it's why this matters so much. So what do you think? If robots can really do everything from housework to factory jobs, would you want one in your life? How do you see this changing the way we live and work? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you found this breakdown as fascinating as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more updates on the future of AI, robotics, and the world we're building together. Because ready or not, the future is already here.